Hello, people. I'm going to give you a short analogy of the biggest problem that we have as far as our health, as far as many of us here in the United States, as Dr. Hugh, and that's belly fat, or you're having a big gut, or what we call being obese, having love handles, and all these different things. Let me break it down to you in a way whereas you can dissect it and digest it, and then you can do something about it yourself. What you have to realize is that it's two types of fat that is around our abdominal wall. Okay, you have your abdominal muscle. Right before your abdominal muscle, we have what they call visceral fat. This visceral fat, your abdominal muscle wall, and then you have what they call subcutaneous fat. Now, both of these fats are helpful and useful to us. The one that we most prominently see that's a problem is the subcutaneous fat. That's the one that's outside your belly. That's the one that makes things hang over. You got a gut, you got, your pants halfway down, or, you can put on a belt, you got a suck in your stomach and all that type of stuff, or what women call the pouch, or all these things after they be pregnant. They call them different names, love handles and all this type of stuff they can't name. For most men, they call it, oh, you got a beer belly or a gut or whatever. Okay, now, let me break it down to you this way where you can have understanding what's going on with your body, okay? It's all how your body metabolizes the processed foods and stuff that we eat, from the starches into the meats and everything else that you digest. Now, what happens is the visceral fat, which is before the abdominal wall, that particular fat we use and we store in our bodies for energy from when we are working, jogging, playing around, doing any activity. So that fat right there can be maintained as long as it's inside or before the abdominal wall. So you still can see your abdominal muscles. For most of us, we still can see our abdominal muscles, but the visceral fat is the stored energy fat. That's not, I'm gonna say it's good fat or bad fat, that's just the way our bodies process food and store stuff. Okay, so that's natural. What's the problem for us with obesity and with most of us is that our metabolism in our bodies also store this, what we call the subcutaneous fat. And that's the fat that's outside your abdominal wall. All women, all men, every last one of us have a 6-pack or 8-pack naturally from birth. We all have that 6-pack abdominal wall muscles. We have that. You won't see it because of how your body metabolizes and store certain starches or meats and other reprocessed food that we eat. So the best way to cut down the subcutaneous fat, which is the obvious fat that we see around our guts, or some people like to say beer bellies or pouches and all these other things from pregnancies and all these different scenarios that goes on with, the only way you can get that fat down, it takes approximately 90 days of continuous work. I mean, when you start, you cannot stop. The only way you're going to cut that particular fat down, you have to fast. You have to drink plenty of water. You have to do a detoxing process for about a good week. You have to cut out all meats. You have to cut out all starches. You have to cut off all sugary processed sugars that we take in our body, even high fructose corn syrup. What you want to do is break that fat down by also exercising. You must do these things. It's a must. If you do one thing but you don't do the rest, you're not going to cut down that what we call subcutaneous fat. You're not going to cut it down. Now, you may slim down a little bit from cutting down the intake of your visceral fat, but the visceral fat is not the fat that's really a problem. The problem is the subcutaneous fat, which is outside your abdominal wall, which when you look in the mirror or you take off your clothes, that's the fat that you see. That's what everybody want to lose, but you have to sacrifice and do things in an order. You have to do this for 90 days. The process is to cut down the visceral fat that no one is telling you, even physicians, dietitians, nutritionists, no one is telling you this. You have to stop eating. You can start off a program, but stop eating for 2 days. Then you're going to, each week, you're going to try to cut out an extra day. So say, for instance, if you're going to start off with the month of, let's say, for instance, July is on its way in. Let's say, for instance, you're going to start off with the first week of July. The first week of July, you're going to start on a day where you can stop eating solid foods or the foods that you normally eat for 2 days. So when you start this, you have to not eat for 48 hours. No eating. You can drink your regular coffee or your regular beverages or whatever, but I prefer you to drink V8s or drink stuff that's going to give you more or less a vitamin as far as your vegetables or grape juice or orange juice and things. You can use those things, but you got to start cutting down the sugar that's storing because your body is not metabolizing that food anymore and you're not using it. It's just hanging out in your body. And it's really dangerous to you too. So you have to start off with that first week, no eating for 2 days. The second week, no eating for 3 days. And the third week, no eating for 4 days. And then the last week of the month, you're going to go a whole 5 days without eating. And you have to do this for the first, technically you're supposed to do this for the first 3 months. That's the only way you're going to cut that cellulose fat away from your gut. You can also, while you're doing this, you have to be doing certain exercises or jumping rope. You can be walking, you can be climbing stairs, you can be doing yoga, you can do all these things, you can be dancing, you can do anything that's gonna give you your heart rate gonna go up and you're gonna be building things. You're gonna have to move. You have to move this stuff out of your body because for years and years you've been really relaxing and not doing anything, okay? So you have to get in a program to start believing in yourself and doing this. If you can do this, then you can be successful in cutting down belly fat, which is the belly fat that we see. You have to give yourself 90 days. That's the least amount of time that you're going to see great results. Just because you start and you start seeing results within that first couple of weeks or maybe a month, that's not success. Success is 90 days. Each month, you're going to be fasting for at least 5 days. Like I told you, the first week, no solid foods for 2 days. The second week, no solid foods for 3 days. The third week, no solid foods for 4 days. The last week of the month, which is the fourth week, no solid foods for a whole week. You can eat vegetables, you can eat fruits, you can eat all these things within the process of this. In other words, we want your body to be more alkaline than acidity. You got a lot of acidity in your body and your body is not functioning, it's not balanced correctly. So in order for your metabolism to get back up like it's supposed to, naturally without using chemicals or pills or healthy quick, by using all these different pills they give you at GMC and different places, you have to do it naturally by flushing your body correctly. Once you do that, you can cut down all that subcutaneous fat that's around outside of your gut and your hips and also from your sides and your obliques. You can cut it out. You have to believe in yourself, you have to be a little patient, and you have to change your whole dietary, how you eat and what you drink and what you do. You have to. Okay? That's the only way you're going to cut that fat out. It's a process, it's a discipline, and you have to do it for the rest of your life. You have to. The first 90 days is actually for you to see the results. Anytime after that, your body and you should be already in the mode or in the mood because you're doing so well to continue it and to keep on going. And at the same time, you're getting healthy, you're eating the correct things, and you're drinking plenty of water. I mean, plenty of water. You're gonna be drinking at least for the first month, every day, you'll be drinking at least 2 quarts of water, depending on your body, how much your body weight is. Then as you keep going on and on, you're going to drink 3 quarts of water every day for a whole month or whatever. This is every day. You're going to have to see, in order for your body to metabolize the energy that you have to drink water. Water gives it oxygen and also gives it what it needs for you to burn all this crap out of you. It's the natural, most positive way you can do it. Any other way is not going to work. Oh, you're doing 1,000 sit-ups, you're doing it. It's not going to work. It's not going to. You have to do it simultaneously with what you're eating and your exercise at the same time. And also you fasting and cutting the stuff out of yourself. You have to do it that way. It took you years to get the way you are. And it's going to take you months and months to get the stuff back in order for your body to get back to its natural state again. And then you're going to look great. All right? So I just want to give you this little short message to tell you you can do it, but you have to discipline yourself. And don't start anything unless you're really ready to finish and go all the way through with it. Don't start it. Don't stop. Don't start anything and stop. Finish what you complete. So you have 90 days of doing this correctly and you will see the results. Okay? Talk to you shortly. Peace.